Good morning, today's the 5th of December 2023 and I'm going to go through my trading plan for today. Before we start, let's take a look at the economic calendar and see if we've got any high importance news that could move the market. So 10 AM today, we've got job openings, so keep an eye at 10 AM, and 9:45 we've got some semi-important new potential market moving news. And then again after market, so 9:45, 10 AM, so that's the time to be wary. On my screen is the weekly chart for the ES or the MES. Let's just open up my pen. We can see we're looking pretty bullish on the weekly, and we're seeing our first red week in almost, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 5 weeks we've got this. This is the 6th week and we're seeing a little bit of red, and we're coming off of that trend line which we've been discussing. Zooming out, so that's all-time highs, and we had July's highs here, and we came into that trend line again and an area of supply, this tight area of supply, and we've rejected it a couple of times. So let's just drill down to the daily and see where we are. So we've got a daily level which we've been hovering around as an important level. We've been there for some time now. Rejected it back in September, came up, and we're back in that chop area there. So no fun trading at the moment. When we tried to break out of this consolidation area, and we've rejected that weekly trend line. And so that's where we are on the daily. We're quite far away from the 200, the 50, and the 20. And we've now, for the first time, we are opening below the 9 moving average, the 8 moving average. Okay, let's go into the hourly and get some levels. Oh yeah, so just a few minutes ago I was looking at the chart and I noticed this nice trend line. So we've kind of been sticking below this trend line for the last 2 days, and every time we try to break it, there, yesterday's highs there, we've been trading down it and rejected it, and what we're looking at is this nice little wedge pattern, and we're coming into this area now. So I've got a couple of plays based on that. So I'm going to watch for a breakout above 45.66 for a long push move up, or if we break the bottom of this triangle, then I'm looking for a short below 45.53. And you could also use these areas as bounce areas as well. Because we're in an hourly downtrend, this is a pivot to break. This is the important area. Break this pivot and it's confirmed hourly downtrend. And so we'll be looking for a more conservative approach. Come in, let it break, come back, retest this area, and then reject. Although we do have an area of demand, this is an area of demand as well, so we've got to be a bit wary. So treat it as a higher risk trade, because we're still technically in a daily uptrend. Let's go back to the daily. So we haven't had any real pullbacks on the daily yet. We're due one, and we're still putting in this uptrend move. And who knows what could happen? It could break back out again, or we could see it come back down, and we're looking for the break. If we do see it break down, be wary. We've also got this void, this gap up area here as well, under 4,500. So this is a potential area where we've got less volume as well, and we've got a potential target if we do break down. So that could be like a spy swing trade or something. So back to the hourly. So just to confirm, 2 really easy levels today. I'm looking for the bounce or the break and retest of this level long, and that is 45.66 through to 45.69. So 45.70 in that area. That's the area I'm watching for. Or I'm looking for a break and retest below this area. So look, come down, pull back into this area and back down. So they're the 2 main areas I'm watching for. For higher risk plays, 45.64 we could watch for a rejection off of this trend line again as well, and it's that known area. We've been watching that area for some time. Bounced there, came through, couldn't hold it, bounced again there, and maybe we could, what used to be the floor now could be the ceiling. We may see it reject back down. So 45.64 is a higher risk rejection. Again, I quite like the break and retest long over that trend line. High risk bounce as well. We could be watching the bottom of this ascending or descending triangle, and that is at 45.53, 45.40 area as for bounce. So they're the real plays I'm watching for. As for any bigger setups, I quite like, this is going to be a plus setup if we get down there, 45.36, and that is an area confluence, and it's a bounce area. You can see back to pen. So we've got tops of candles, tops of candles, tops of candles. It broke out, retested that area, bottoms of candles, and we've yet to come down to retest this area. So this is an area I'll be looking for a potential bounce. And if we are showing significant weakness, we could be using this, we could be running down this trend line potentially, and this could bring us all the way back down to there. So that's something to bear in mind as well. So bounce at 45.36 area, and we've got this higher probability bounce about 4500 to 45.06. And like I said, if we see weakness, then we've got, this is the void below. And so look at the volume, there is no volume there. The only volume was that day. And let's just zoom out a bit more to see if there's any volume at all. No, even when we take in previous levels, so taking all this volume as well, all this volume, we've still got relatively low volume in that area. So if we do crack that level, 4500, we could see a bit of a push back down to fill that gap, because there's no volume as a resistance in that area at all. Okay, so that's ES, or the MES, that's the S&P 500 index futures. Let's look at SPY. So this is the daily on SPY, doing the same as ES, almost. We're in this chop shop zone here, so we're just going sideways, consolidating. And we need to see either a breakdown, from that level, or a breakout from that level. We tried it and failed, so we potentially could be looking for a breakdown. So same levels as MES or the ES. Let's go into the hourly. So we're watching for a higher probability bounce at 451.82, this area here. Higher risk bounce at 453.30. So if we come down to that area, we're looking for a bounce, and look at these areas of confluence as well, where tops and bottoms of candles are in play. So they're tops, bottoms, and it's not yet tested. And we need to break that structure as well, and we can draw the same trend line down here as well, and we could be watching for the same type of play. So if we break below this level at 454.50, we could be looking for a short, potential short. Got to get below the 200 as well. So this purple line is a 200 moving average. Or if we get above pre-market high, which is 455.68, or maybe we could be a bit more, 456 area, we could be looking for a break and retest. And then that's, again, like I said, that is a trend line play. Roughly that's a trend line there. And we've got this, and we've got the horizontal line as well, so we've got this ascending triangle. So let's just, this play here. And we're right inside it now, so we're going to find out which way it's going to go shortly. So that's it, that's the only two levels on SPY to watch. High risk again, you can watch for a bounce at 454.50, or if we look at showing weakness, a break and retest short of that area. and then we've got a higher probability rejection at 458, which is coming in from that zone there. If I go back, it's probably another area of interest as well, going back a few months. So 458.20 is another reject area, and obviously we've got the high of 459.90, 459.89 as a reject. So they're the areas I'm watching on SPY. Take a quick look at Qs. This is the hourly on the QQQs. So I quite like the reject at 386. It's coming into that area there, similar to what we had yesterday. So maybe come back up into that area for the reject down, or we can watch for a bounce 382.78. I've got a higher risk. Let's just create this line in here. If we get below this area, we've basically got this void, a bit like we talked about earlier, this void which is a gap fill as well, but we've got a bit of areas of demand going back a few months in these areas as well. So we've got 381 as a bounce area or a target area, and 378.40. So if we're short in this void, we've got two targets as well. So to recap Qs, I quite like a rejection here, 386, and I quite like the bounce at 382.66 area to 383. These areas here. That's it for Qs. NQ. Okay, so we're looking at the daily. So if I go back to the daily, sign of interest, notice how we had reducing volume, but only steadily, with not much. It's almost but below average volume. And then as we started seeing this rejection, we're starting to see or this sell-off, we're starting to see increased volume or increasing volume for this. In fact, the only day we didn't have increased volume was this one green day in these 6 red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In these 5 red days, we only saw one green day with less volume, and the red days had more volume. So maybe that's a sign of weakness, and we're seeing some sort of change in the tech sector. So going into the hourly. So let's make some adjustments to these levels. I quite like a reject at 15.841, and that's coming into these levels here. You can potentially bring it up a little bit to 15.866. That's an area. That's a reject area. I'd say high probabilities are coming into this area, and a little bit of volume in that area as well. The biggest area for a reject will be up here at 1600, and you see massive volume as well. Big point of control and area confluence as well. Bottoms of candles there, tops there, and right in the middle, everything else. So this is the area to watch out for, 1600, 16,000 for a reject. So that's, and obviously we've got the 200 moving average, which is starting to arc over now as well. And the 50's already started, it's already down. So confirm on the hourly, what's it like on the daily quickly? So we need to break down through the 20. We haven't quite broken that 20 yet, which is this line here, 20 moving average. So yesterday's low is what we're waiting for it to break down below. So if we can get down below that, if we can break and hold below this area, then we're seeing a bit of a structure change. Well, we're already seeing that we're already in an hourly downtrend. So we see this downtrend like this, so come down, pull back up, and we're here. We're not sure which way we're going yet. Okay, so that's it. Bounce wise, the gap fill probably down here, and that will be at 15,610. And let's just put a level in there as well. That's where we are right now actually. So just the bottoms of those candles. So this is basically, we did try to get into that void yesterday, and we didn't quite make it down. So what did we get to? 17,720. So this is the area to watch for. We need to close below this area and then continue to trend back down to fill the gap. So that's it really for Qs. Oil, well, that's looking pretty weak. Let's look at the daily for a second. So we've got this downtrend, so making a series of lower highs, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low. So potentially we could be putting in another lower high. We could still be watching 77, 98, 77, 78 area for a rejection down. And then bounce wise, still down here, so we're right in between areas and there's no play at the moment. But if we can come back up in here and catch a bit like this top and tail candle, catch something like that, and then bring it back down into the 68 area, that would be a good trade. And then we can watch for bounces around this area. There's nothing on oil at the moment. Okay, so let's look at gold. This is the hourly on gold. Let's go to the daily quickly. So we broke this area. We're looking at daily. So yesterday we broke down. We're putting in this bit of 2 days of weakness. Big top and tail candle on massive volume as well. That's big volume. We haven't seen that volume for a while. Last time we saw that volume was here. And look what happened next. Big drop in the market, and look, we got a similar type of volume. Yeah, a little bit less, similar type of volume, and we're seeing maybe a similar. We could see a market push down, so something to keep an eye on. As for a play on the hourly, we've got this rising 200 moving average. So we've seen a bounce area, so we're coming down, pulling back. We could look for it to drop down. But what it would be the entry? Probably the break and retest of that level. And that level is 2040, 2039 to 2040 area. But we have got the 200 moving average directly below, so we do need to break down. Break through the 200, come back up, retest the 200, and then look for the short. And similarly, if we can break over this level, we've been watching that level for a few days, and that's 2056. We could see a break and retest long. Okay, I think that's it. There's nothing else I can really see on these plays. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin. I've got a vested interest in this. Still looking strong. Putting in higher highs, high low. Look at that. It's putting in a, could say this kind of shape. Yeah, looking strong still, no signs of a weakness even when the market's going in the opposite direction. So I was at the hourly. Let's look at the daily. Volume is not overly high. There's a bit more volume in this one trading up than we saw when it was down here. But we're not seeing any signs of it slowing down yet. We are quite extended from the 200 and the 50 and the 20 and even the 8 moving average. So we are due a bit of a pullback. But there's no signs of high volume over these last few months. A couple of high volume days there. And that was a push up. That's a break over this ascending wedge. You can see that pattern there. And we had the volume, which is the effort needed to get out of that area, and then the pullback into that area, looking good. We had a bit of volume down here, and a bit of volume here as well. Again, this was the effort needed to break out. And there's no sign, it's not ending volume because it wasn't on the run, it was going sideways. It's been going sideways for some time. Oh, this is coin. Oh no, this is Bitcoin, yeah. So I was looking at Coinbase as well earlier. It's still looking strong. hard to go long, but no sign that it wants to reject yet. Just an average volume, slightly increasing volume actually. If you look over the last few days, we've had a few peaks and it's increasing. That's what pretty much just showing strength. No signs of weakness yet. Okay, I think that's it really. Just see whether MES has broken structure yet. That's what we're waiting for. Oh, look at that. That's what we're talking about. So area watching down here for a break and retest short. I may even just take a small size as we come down, as a breakdown, and then just in case we see it move and doesn't come back. And obviously we've got the break and retest long of this area. They're the areas to watch for. Okay, thank you for watching.